All right, we're back to keep exploring Neukölln, and now let's go over to the friendly locals. Now, this group from the beginning thematically was very hard to design. I knew that we wanted to have some representation of not necessarily Germans even, but just people that are true Berliners, and also to represent jobs or roles or archetypes that that you see in everyday life. I didn't want it all to just be like, oh, it's all hipsters and all tourists. It's not what Berlin's like. Berlin has its own beautiful local culture as well that isn't just coming from people coming here. And so I want to highlight some of that as well. As far as what the group should do, when we started designing a lot of mechanics, my co-designer, Andy Couch, he mentioned that there should be a lot of play with the deck. And to be honest, many groups don't actually play with the deck, and you don't have that much control of your customers. And I feel like that thematically makes a lot of sense in the game. However, with friendly locals, we always knew we wanted to have some way that you had regulars. And in earlier versions of Seize the Beam, we actually had some kind of like core mechanics around how to make a card a regular, but it was really hard to track. So now that's really simple. So if we take a look at the Späti owner, you can see that what he needs is a strong coffee and a milk, and he gives you a good review. And then if you serve him any snack, you also get a good review. So it's already like kind of a nice payout. It's a pretty, it's a middleweight card as far as a good payout. And then the ability is that you can take any card in your line, including this one, and put it back on top of your deck, and you get good reviews equal to its rewards. So, wow. So, oops, can't even hold on to the card. I'm so excited. So this is pretty wild if you think about it, because now we only need 3 different resources if we have all these symbols. It is 3 resource types, so it's as slow as a tourist strategy, for example, but that's a 4-point card if he puts himself back. Now, the tricky point about this is if you don't pay the side, it's only a 3-point card. So kind of questionable now, is it worth it or not? And the other thing is, because he puts himself back on top of your deck, he's coming out next round. So imagine that we have 2 hype over here, and then imagine that these 2 friendly locals come out. I mean, look at the choices that we have here. We serve the Späti owner, and either he immediately puts the Steuerberater, which is basically like a tax accountant. He either puts this one back on top, and then you've only served 1 card, which seems bad, or he puts himself back on top, and then you serve the Steuerberater, and he has to put himself back on top. And then next round, because you only have 2 hype, you have the same 2 cards out. So that's what's funny about friendly locals. Although you know who's coming to your shop, you never expand. You would need to increase your hype to expand. And let's say you increased your hype, but that was the 3rd card you drew, which is the bar owner. So they actually become kind of problematic. Like, they're a weird strategy because they force you to, if you're putting other cards back that's not them, then they force you to reduce your line. Like, they clog up your shop and don't let any non-friendly locals come. And if you're putting them back, they clog up your deck and don't let any other cards come out. So they're really unique in that way. Now, the super gets really bizarre. The super lets you put, so there's an extra milk that's required, and also it's not any snack on the side. They're randomized, the snacks. So it's a little bit harder, and you don't get a good review for serving their main. They put 2 cards back, but for those 2 cards, you get all the rewards. You get good reviews equal to the rewards. So this card is pretty wild. If it comes first and it's just other friendly locals, it's actually really bad, right? Because then you're just stacking, and you didn't get to serve the 2nd card. But what's interesting is if you had another card, I mean, really almost virtually any other card. Let's just take the Fun Employed Expat. If you serve that one first, or even if it was the other way around in the first time serving, serve this one, the bar owner, and then put the bar owner on top, and then put the Fun Employed Expat, and then next time around, because you've controlled the order, the 2 of them come out like that. And then it's sort of like the musicians. You can control the order of the cards in your line. So if you can snag a super friendly local, or 2 of them even, then you can build like a 4-card line that's always the same every round, or you're like mixing it up every round. That's really cool, but hard to do. So that's kind of how the friendly locals work. And the reason why I showed you with the Fun Employed Expats is that there's some interesting stuff you could do. In for example, you could trigger your Fun Employed Expat to take your Späti owner out of your discard, to put him in your line, to get 2 good reviews from him. And then serve your bar owner, and you only have 2 milk, so you wouldn't be able to serve the Späti owner, and then you could put them both back on top of your deck. Or in a simpler example, let's say we have it like this, and that was in my discard. I could use a Fun Employed expat to bring the Spady owner out to get points for it. Then when I serve the Steuerberater, let's say I didn't have any milk left for the Spady owner, I can use the Steuerberater's ability to put the Spady owner back on top. So, and I get points for it again. So it's like this card, we get 4 good reviews for moving it around. So that's where this district is really weird like that. Like there's a lot of pretty tricky combinations of manipulation that you can do if you're smart. All right, so to end the video, let's look at some of their style upgrades. We have these subliminal aprons, some of the really bad and fun humor for Mario and myself, and then also some modernist chairs. And on the pantry side, we have the schnitzel pie, which is basically my favorite fictional item, and then seasonal drinks as well. So with that, I'll say ciao until the next video.